And I think we're recording. I forget how to do the intro.
What's going on, guys? It's
What's going on, guys? Welcome
yeah.
back to License
There
to
we go.
View,
There we go.
a podcast on the internet where two best friends get together, talk about pop culture, TV, movies, anime, comic books, all that bullshit.
All that bullshit.
I'm Jason. That's Zach. Zach, what's going on, man?
Just living the dream here down in Orlando, where the fucking weather is like on a bipolar schedule. Shit's fucking crazy.
Have you
Dude.
heard anything about when Disney is gonna open?
Yeah, they're not opening until July 11th. Universal and SeaWorld are opening like next fucking week, I think.
But
Or something
isn't
like
Disney
that.
doing like I swear I saw that they're doing like 5 different like security layers. Like you have to walk through a fucking line and like go through all these
Um,
precautions to even get into the park.
I know they have a bunch of precautions. I know that they're definitely scaling back on capacity, and they're also, as far as getting into the park, you have to make a reservation. Like you can't just show up to the park and buy tickets anymore. Like you have to buy your
Fuck
tickets
that,
ahead of
man.
time.
Fuck that.
And they're also only doing for the first bit, they're only doing people that already have reservations to get into the park. So you can't, like, if you are like, oh, I'm coming out of quarantine, like, fuck, dude, like I want to go to Disney or some shit. They'll be like, nope, you gotta wait. Probably gonna have to wait like a couple of weeks or something like that.
That's
But
gonna be
yeah,
that's gonna be great for people when they realize that there's no lines or the queue
yeah,
is good. The queue is gonna be so much shorter than regular, and then they're
yeah,
gonna come back when it's actually full operation. They're gonna go, wait, Disneyland was so much, or Disney World was so much better when
yeah,
quarantine was happening because I can get on this fucking ride. I can get on the Rise of the Resistance without having to wait 4 hours.
yeah. It'd probably be like an hour wait right now. Like
You
it's
know,
pretty crazy. Well, yeah, because it's like it's gonna be like I think it's gonna be I don't know, probably like a third or maybe like a little less than half capacity for Disney World, I think is what they're talking about. I think that I remember what their original estimates were that they were going to have like 30,000 people allowed or something like that only, which is like, I mean, normally I think normal day Disney World is like 50 to 60,000. So it's like a significant decrease. But I know they're doing like temperature checks and like they're doing the sanitizing. They've got like groups of people like doing like the CDC guidelines, like making sure that like people are wearing masks and social distancing and stuff like that. So
makes you wonder when they're gonna open up movie theaters.
I don't know, dude. Fuck. Well, I don't know, because now Tenet is like, I mean, obviously not Christopher Nolan. He still wants that shit to open in July, but like that latest trailer dropped the release date, so like now they're not even sure that it's
Yeah.
releasing in July, which is
Because I
like,
mean,
I don't
I
know.
went like in terms of like grouping shit. Like I went and got my hair cut last week, and I still had to
Yeah,
wear a mask to get my hair cut.
yeah, I did too.
So
Yeah,
it makes me think like there's no way. Like I'm not gonna wear a mask for 2 fucking hours. Like it's not
yeah.
happening. I cannot do it. Because sitting in
I
there,
think the thing that you could do with movie theaters though is that I mean you could a lot of movie theaters already have it, which is that you have the assigned seating shit,
yeah,
and then you just cordon off a certain number of seats that like people can't buy, and that's just an easy way to social distance.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, and honestly though, like part of the appeal, like in Christopher Nolan's little article he wrote, was like kind of the appeal is having it be crammed. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of like that's what makes Star Wars fun, even if Star Wars sucks. It's like there's
yeah.
a ton of
I would
people
say
in the
that for
movie
like
theater.
blockbuster movies, but there's other stuff where it's like I don't know, because it's like I don't know. You see other like art house movies, and like it really doesn't matter. Like if I saw like when I saw The Lighthouse, like I didn't really
Yeah,
care that the theater was like packed because that's really kind of more of like an intimate picture that like you don't really need a whole crowd for. But yeah, like Star Wars and like Avengers and shit like that, like it helps to have like a big crowd of people.
well, I'm honestly, excuse me, I think I'm at the point now where in my movie watching like lifespan
Hmm.
where I only go to the theater for the big movies. Like I will
Yeah.
just wait till home release or whatever
Hmm.
for the smaller movie and
Yeah.
just watch it that way. And to me,
Right.
it just saves me so much time, and it's easier than having to go to the theater for like like a lighthouse size movie.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, but I can't even think about what's this year that I'm super like. What
Well, most
blockbusters are coming out this year that are like mandatory movie theater movies?
Well, most of the blockbusters fucking delayed because there was some big stuff coming out. I mean, you had like fucking you had fucking Fast and Furious, but that shit got delayed. You have Tenet,
Right.
that was probably the bigger one, but like I don't know, because yeah, there really wasn't any Marvel movies scheduled to come out, and like DC doesn't have well Wonder Woman, I guess, but yeah,
When's
that's
what about Dune? When's Dune supposed to come out?
Dune's November, along with fucking Godzilla vs King Kong, baby.
Oh,
That shit.
same month.
I think so, because yeah, I think they're both in November, because Godzilla got delayed. Um, Before the coronavirus stuff, they got delayed because of production issues till November, I think. And now, and yeah, Dune is supposed to come out
November 19th is what Wikipedia is saying.
for which one?
For Godzilla.
Okay. And I think Dune is like, I think it is like Thanksgiving. I think it's like the 25th or something.
Dune is saying December 18th.
Oh, they got pushed back. Okay. Because I remember they were originally supposed to be Thanksgiving. So now they're taking the Star Wars spot. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, December 18th, IMAX and 3D, which I'm seeing that movie in IMAX. Like, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, dude. 100%, dude. Got to.
There should be an IMAX for Godzilla, too. If there isn't one, there needs to be.
Because I don't think I saw King of Monsters in IMAX, but I saw it in the Regal equivalent,
RPX.
which is the RPX, yeah.
RPX.
And that shit was so fucking good. God damn it. That's such a good
honestly,
fucking movie.
I don't like RPX. I saw Force Awakens in RPX.
Yeah.
And it's fine, but like it's not IMAX.
It's definitely not IMAX quality for sure.
Like honestly, I could like between the regular Regal Theater
Mm-hmm.
and then RPX, I honestly can't. In my mind, I can't remember the big difference.
I can't even remember what they budget. I can't remember what they budget. I know they budget it as an IMAX experience, but it really doesn't have like an IMAX size.
Well, the screen is bigger. It's not an IMAX size screen. The sound is definitely better. Like the audio is for sure better. Which maybe that's one of the big sticking points. Maybe. But IMAX is still like an IMAX.
I mean, IMAX is the cream of the crop.
I mean, an IMAX room is fucking massive.
Well, it's like usually because there's the one in the Citadel Mall that has IMAX. There's one down here at at the Disney Theater. They have an IMAX there, and it's just like usually when it's an IMAX theater, it's like a whole fucking corner of the movie theater because it's just massive.
Well, every time I go into the IMAX theater, and I always forget like how fucking tall the screen is, and like how the seats are like literally like almost like vertical.
Yeah,
it's almost like
I had that shit with I always got confused for a little bit because or maybe IMAXs used to be like this, but I remember when I was a kid and I think I went to like a children's museum or something like that, or like a planetarium or some shit where they had like IMAX, like before my IMAX was actually used like for movies. And I remember it was like a thing where I thought it was a thing where it was like you were almost like laying down in the seats, and it was like the screen was like on top of you, and it was like stretched out like this. Like I remember something like that.
Well, I've been to that for like planetariums.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Like a planetarium where they show you like the sky, like the solar system. I've seen that there. I'm not sure if it's IMAX or not, but I definitely recall seeing the same kind of thing. For hey, here's how the astrology, or not astrology, but the fucking constellations and shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, Zach, we can go ahead and just kind of talk what we've been up to the last couple of weeks, because we haven't done an episode last week or week before that, I don't think, because I've been moving.
Yeah, man, you got a new place.
Yeah, I got a new place. I'm still moving because I'm doing overlaps for 2 months of rent.
Okay. Oh, wow, Jesus.
Yeah, so we're still moving. We're taking our sweet-ass time. I'm actually doing more stuff after the podcast to go grab a washer and dryer.
Okay.
And kind of just hanging out because my work schedule is completely fucked up with all this COVID C virus bullshit. But in the last couple weeks, what have you been up to, man?
I haven't been up to too terribly much. I've been watching a couple. I'm still plugging through Psych. Fucking got up to season 5, almost to the end of the Yin Yang trilogy, which is one of my favorite series of episodes in any TV show ever.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So yeah, I watched the first 2 parts of that. Season 5 right now. I remember that this is the era of Psych, which is like season 4, 5, and I think maybe 6, where it's like they started to have a lot of fucking big guest stars. Because season 4 was like they had Judd Nelson for an episode. They had fucking John Cena. They had like crazy guest stars.
I think the moment they get like Carrie Elvis, it's like from there on it just becomes like guest central.
Yeah, it's crazy guests all the time, which I love it. I love that they have all these different guest stars doing the bit roles and stuff like that.
Do you have a favorite episode so far? I know all of them. So like, do you have a favorite one?
I think I really like part 2 of the Yin Yang trilogy. I really like the Alfred Hitchcock stuff, and I was thinking about it as I was watching it, and it was just like, you can tell that like they really like Hitchcock stuff. The cinematography in that episode is like fucking phenomenal. Like for a
Yeah,
TV show, like the way that they're able to like emulate Hitchcock thrillers in like a budget TV format is
yeah.
excellent. And the writing for that stuff is always great too. I really like the dynamic he has with like the yin yang killers. It's awesome. Very like, I mean, they talk about it in the episodes, but it's very like Silence of the Lambs, which
Yeah.
is really cool. I like that episode. I really like I just did this. It's the start of season 5. I like the fucking Romeo and Juliet episode they did. The fucking
Yeah.
Chinatown stuff. That's really cool. Watching them do like actual fucking like stunts, which is
Mm-hmm.
like Sean trying to do karate is or wushu is fucking funny as shit. All the stuff like that. I really like the stuff where they like spin off or spiff on like other genres of stuff. I really like the
Mm-hmm.
Western episode that they did
Yep.
when they're in just like the tourist Western town and stuff like that, and Sean gets to be the sheriff. All that
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff is really really fun.
Yeah, I love that episode that you just talked about with last season. You know, with the fake Western town. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I always go back to the Freddie Prinze episode.
Dude, yeah, I
Is
just watched that
is
one. That was
great.
really funny too with the
That was
UFOs.
yeah,
Yeah,
that one's really great. And then
that's really
obviously
great.
the
And then
nerd room I love and the
the
early
fucking closet nerd room, and then his fucking wife's a uber nerd too. It's just like, god damn it, dude.
and
They're
the,
always great at like, I think Psych does the best of this, of like really like doing the thing of like subverting your expectations, but in a way that's satisfying.
right.
Like the Freddie Prinze shit, where it's just like he's a closet nerd, he spends the whole time, and then his wife is also a closet nerd, and they're both
Mhm.
hiding it from each other. I really like that kind of shit. Um, I got sad though because season 4, the end of season 4, or yeah, the end of season 4 is the end of the Abigail arc, which makes me sad. But it also ramps up to the beginning of him starting to actually chase after Juliet, which is always, I think I remember that as always being like some of my favorite time in Psych when they're actually together.
So
So
I don't care at all about who Sean dates. I never cared.
uh,
Even when I rewatch it now, I don't care. It's not bad or anything like that, but I just don't care about it. I always the relationship that I care about in Psych is him and his dad.
yeah,
Um,
I
like
love him and his dad.
there's
I love
little,
especially because season 4 is when he actually joins the police force and like when he's
Mhm.
actually like on the police squad again, and he like it's clear that like I don't know if it's clear or not, but it's just his dad gets a lot more screen time just because he's always there as a
Mhm.
consultant and whatnot, and so I really really enjoy that. Yeah.
Well, for me, and I tell us all the time when I talk about Psych. Psych is the one show that has the one relationship that makes me tear up all the
Hmm.
time, and that's Sean and Henry. But
Hmm.
it's always there's always one particular scene. Whenever I'm doing a rewatch, I can never pinpoint the episode because I always forget for some reason.
Hmm.
When it happens, I know it's happening, and then I'll automatically get all teared up when it's happening, which is
Hmm.
where Sean's mom comes back, and the
Yeah.
entire time Sean is giving his dad so much bullshit
Hmm.
for blaming his dad for like being the cause of the divorce or whatever. And
Yeah.
at the end, you keep seeing Henry like is trying really hard to impress his mom, and at the end of
Hmm.
the episode or the end of the 2 episode like no bit or whatever, you know.
Hmm.
Sean goes to that tirade where he's like, "No, he left us, or he didn't, whatever." And his mom's like, "No, I left him for a
Yeah.
job, and I'm sorry." And then it cuts to a slow motion shot of Henry walking into the police station, like all like kind of like happy and like dancing. He stops at a mirror, he fixes his shirt, and he turns and like sees Sean. He like waves in slow motion, and it cuts back to Sean being like,
Yeah.
"Ah, my dad ain't like," because the whole point about him is about him and his dad growing close as
Yeah.
Sean is finally becoming a detective, quasi
Yeah.
detective, right? Like his
The
dad
thing that
wanted him
his
to be.
dad always wanted it to be.
So like that scene alone makes me go okay. And then at the very end of the show, um, there's a season series finale. There's a bit where, spoiler alert here, I guess,
Yeah.
where Sean calls him for help, and then Henry goes, "He finally called me," because he never calls his dad.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, you know. That the first season finale, which is it should be the Exorcist 1, right? Or is that season 2?
Um, season The Exorcist episode is in season
Or the
four.
ghost the ghost one.
Yeah, the
the
first one
scary
is like the haunted,
the
scary
scary
Sherry,
Sherry.
like
Yeah.
yeah, like the sorority house, haunted house type.
That finale is really great. That episode's really great. I
Yeah,
love the planetarium episode is really great.
yeah.
The comic book convention one's really good.
The comic book convention is really great. All the stuff where they like get to be like fucking nerds is great because yeah,
Yeah.
like the Freddie Prinze stuff, the Comic Con stuff is really great. The superhero
The
episode,
I love the episode where they are undercover teachers or whatever
yeah,
at the private school. I love
yeah,
that
that's a good
one.
episode too. I like the one where God, there's just so many because that I just did the one where they do the Jaws recreation. That one's great. I
Yeah.
love that one. The Fast and Furious ripoff that they did was great too, where they have the guy from CSI Miami.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, because
so much good
the
episodes.
season two finale, Black and Tan.
I don't think that's season 2 finale. I actually think that was like the season 2 or 3 like premiere. I actually don't remember what the season 2 finale was.
I'm
Hold
trying to
on,
think of what it is too. I can't
because
remember.
season 3 is when they start the yin yang stuff.
Yeah, season three is Yin Yang.
Hold on,
Um,
let me look.
Season two finale is the Mummy.
That's the finale. Oh my
That's the
god.
finale, yeah.
Oh yeah, because season 1, because that's a great one too, where they in season 1 where they do the dinosaur dig.
Yeah. Yeah, Black and Tan is right before that. It's episode 15, season 2, and
Black and Tan is great too.
yeah, Black and Tan's really good.
He's black. I'm tan.
There's so many episodes of that show that like are just killers. Like they're so
Yeah.
good, and you realize like how much like every episode or like, every other episode they give the other person all the dialogue, like
Mhm.
blurbs. Like one episode it's Sean who's talking a lot, and the next
Yeah.
episode it'll be like, okay, here's a Gus rant that's like
Mhm.
super long. One of the episodes that makes me like laugh consistently is the one where it's the '70s episode where they it's Henry's big case that's being overturned.
Yeah, yes,
And
that's the
yeah,
Disco Didn't Die was
I
yeah.
love that episode. And they
Well,
get
that one and I just did the one where I literally just watched. I think it was like the last episode I watched before I went to bed last night. But it was the episode where it's like the superstars from when Henry was a cop, and
Yeah,
they have
yeah,
to come
yeah.
back because the old police chief gets murdered, and so they're like trying to figure out what happened. And that's great because you get to see that like this is what Sean and Gus would look like if like
Yeah.
Sean and Gus were actual detectives, and it's just like them as old men is just great. I love that bit.
Is
where you
it
get to
Danny
see,
Glover?
like, no, it's not Danny Glover though. Yeah, that's weird. Like
to me,
it,
it looks
it looks like it should be. Like it's
in my mind, I always think it's Danny Glover. Then I get to the episode, I'm like, that's not Danny Glover.
No, he kind of looks like him, but yeah, it's not him. I don't even know who he is because like both of those people, like I don't recognize who they are.
But Danny Glover's in the show, isn't he? He's in the baseball one, right?
Is he? I don't remember.
I think he plays the coach for the baseball episode.
Danny Glover's psych.
That's season 6, so maybe we haven't got there yet.
Oh yeah, I haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
Well, I remembered the baseball episode where people thought that somebody was trying to kill Lassiter,
Yeah.
and then Sean also talks about he has this his fucking what do you call it? Sports block or whatever, where he has to have like a sports therapist.
The
which are, like,
yips.
the yips, yeah.
Sean got the yips, yeah. Have you got to the episode yet where I know this is just a big gush over Psych, but where it's the Hangover spoof episode?
No, I haven't got there yet.
Oh my gosh, man, that episode is so fucking good.
That's got to be a little later, but
Well,
yeah.
What season are you on right now?
I'm about, let's see, I'm at probably about halfway through season 5. A little less than halfway through season 5.
All right, this episode is season 6. Yeah, second episode of season 6. This episode is so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's called Late Night Gus. It's really good.
Okay.
And then I guess lastly about Psych before we move on, is the Friday the 13th episode.
Oh my god, that one's great. That is fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like it's so well
I love
done.
it's that, and then it's got the great setup, and then they've got the great setup to like the practical joke, and then it turns into the action, which is that I feel like that happens a lot. Maybe it doesn't happen a lot. I just feel like it does, where it's like it ends up starting as one thing, and it ends up being fake, and then there ends up being like a real thing that
Yeah.
happens afterward, maybe, or something
They
like that.
give you a false finish, and then like like,
Yeah,
oh no, there's more time. It's like we watched Law and Order, and like they arrest the person in the first 10 minutes of the episode. You go, okay, there's more going on here.
yeah. There's definitely more going on.
Clearly, there's more going on. So that's like, what else have you been checking out, man?
Been watching some other Netflix stuff, Schitt's Creek and stuff like that. But the big thing, Jason, is that I beat Assassin's Creed Origins.
Okay.
Um, I had the same problems with it that I was talking about before.
Right.
Story's fine, but I honestly just didn't connect with Bayek as a character that much. I don't know. At this point, it's like the games are fun and I enjoy the RPG aspects, but the actual story is just like, I don't know. It's almost at that point where it's like, it's a very similar story every single time. Assassin's Creed stories start off where main character's in like a decent place, somebody that he's close to gets fucking murdered, and then they spend the entire game like tracking down all those people that behind the conspiracy of that murder,
Yeah.
and
Get revenge.
trying to get revenge and assassinate them all, and then it's loosely they all connect to Templars somehow.
Yeah.
But that leads into the fact that I started Assassin's Creed Odyssey because it was like on sale for $20, and I was like, oh, I gotta get it now. So I've been playing that. I don't know how far I am into the story, but I'm in Athens now. I think I'm probably like 10 hours into the main story, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably not that far because I'm only like level 19, so it can't be that far at all. But I'm having fun with that. I enjoy it a lot. I think I enjoy playing that a lot more than Origins for sure. I think it's got a lot tighter gameplay. The RPG aspects are better. I like the active abilities that you can use in combat. I think that works a lot better for if they're heading towards the RPG route. I think that makes way more sense than just the light scraping that they did in Origins. You could tell that they're really moving towards making this like just an actual RPG. And the story's a lot better because it's actually not like somebody gets fucking murdered and we're going on a revenge quest. There's actually like the conspiracy aspect to it. But it's just so weird because they're really not assassins. Because I mean, the whole part of Assassin's Creed Origins was the beginning of the Brotherhood, and this takes place like 400 years before that.
Yeah.
So they're just like regular fucking like soldiers and shit. So that's a little weird. I mean, but you basically are an assassin, but they don't call you it. So it's kind of strange. But I'm having a lot of fun with that. The world's still too fucking big, way too fucking big, which is like it's too much of a good thing because it just feels like it takes me forever to get anywhere.
Right.
But naval combat's better because I think I talked about that last time that I really enjoyed Black Flag for that reason because it's like you're sailing throughout the Caribbean and you get to fucking be on your pirate ship and chase down other ships and do naval battles and shit like that, and you get to board ships and take them over, and they bring that aspect. It's basically like ripped straight out of fucking Black Flag, just without cannons. So that's fun. I'm enjoying that stuff a lot. Enjoying exploring the world. So yeah, I don't know. I probably won't finish it because it's just so fucking long, but
Right.
I'm having fun playing it.
That's cool. I know I can't play those games, man. There's just too much going on for me.
Yeah, there's a lot, and it's just like, and I mean, this has the same problem that Origin has, because I'm at that point right now, and I was watching some guy do like a light review on it, and he said something, and I was like, fuck, they are doing that, and I didn't even fucking realize it. But they're doing that shit where Ubisoft is like intentionally padding out their game, but like every time you get to a story mission, before you can even move on, you have to do like 3 mini quests for some other person, so it's like an extra like hour and a half that you spend doing these fucking like pointless mini quests before you can actually like get to the main story.
Yep.
But it's the same problem where it's like I can't just breeze through the main story, because I bet you if I could, like if there weren't these like inane level caps on each quest, I bet you I could breeze through the story in like probably like 20-25 hours. But they won't let you do that. They like artificially make you do side quests and shit because you can't get the amount of XP that you need just by doing story quests.
Yeah.
And if you try to do a quest that's like outside of your level, like it's almost impossible.
Right.
So,
Yeah. You get killed so fast.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's the same problem, but I'm having more fun with it overall. So.
Okay. I mean, I think hopefully with like Valhalla, they'll keep progressing in the same elements of like
Yeah.
the skill trees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they really should take away the side mission stuff because that's or because like
Yeah.
if I even if I want to be, I should be able to get XP other ways. I mean, I don't know how they would figure that out. I don't know, but like,
Yeah.
maybe having a variety of other. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I mean, I don't say get rid of the side quest stuff because some of the side quests are enjoyable and they do add color to the world. So that, I mean, especially in a world that's fucking big, like if you didn't have side quests, there's like no point to it because it'd be so fucking barren. But so I enjoy it for that aspect. I just don't like the purposeful level capping.
Yeah.
I hate that shit because there are times where like I want to do side quests, but there are other times where it's like I just want to get to the story beats. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to do side quest shit, and the design of the game is purposely like, no, you have to stop here and you have to do side quests or you're gonna fucking not get any.
Or the bounty hunters gonna come get you.
Yeah, that's another part where it's like I find that an interesting aspect, but I don't know. There's almost. I mean, speaking of side quest shit, there's like almost too much to do in Odyssey. There's like so much shit because you've got the mercenary stuff, and then you've got tracking down the cultists, which actually aren't story bits. They're like optional for you to like track down and assassinate these different cultists. But if you have to do them if you want to upgrade your spear, so that's another thing where it's like you don't have to upgrade your spear, but you're like severely handicapping yourself if you don't. So then you have to go do this optional side quest thing. So you've got that, and then you've got the mercenary tree that is like literally just ripped out of fucking Shadows of Mordor. And then, yeah, I don't know. There's just a bunch of shit like that where it's just like, I don't know. They just keep adding more optional stuff, but I feel like the actual like main quest storyline is kind of lacking. But maybe they're trying to drown it out with all the side quest content because they know that it's lacking. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, or I mean, it's a classic Ubisoft game. You know, we're gonna just reuse and reskin the same mission 1,000 times to help make the game seem longer. That way, we only have to do so much work for the story beat missions.
Yeah.
At least that's what I would assume.
It's possible.
They look at like Far Cry and shit too, you know.
Yeah, and they still pulling that shit straight. Well, actually, they don't really, because the crafting bit is kind of like toned down from Origins, which I like a lot, because I didn't like in Origin that like you had to individually craft maximum health, maximum damage for your melee, maximum damage for your ranged weapons. You had to craft your item pouches. You had to craft your arrow pouches. You had to craft your hidden blade. I hated that shit. So I like that it's all just based around like the gear that you have, and there's like specific percentages for each gear piece, and so you know specifically it's like if I have this thing on, I'm going to do more damage with my bows, but if I want to just go in and like do full stealth, and I can just like put on everything that will like increase my assassination, so that way I get more assassin damage. So I enjoy that aspect to it a lot more than Origins, because I mean they do the thing where it's like in Origins it was kind of just like generic, but in here they actually have specific like numbers and percentages, so you can actually like tell what you're doing. So I enjoy that aspect to it a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm willing to forgive it more because I fucking love Greek times and I fucking love Greek mythology, and so I'm having a lot more fun, more so than Egyptian stuff. So I'm having a lot more fun just actually exploring this world more so than Egypt, because like Egypt's cool, but like I don't know. I don't really enjoy their gods as much as like I mean like fucking like Zeus and fucking Ares and shit like that. Like they're fucking badasses. So I enjoy that shit a lot more. So yeah, I'm gonna keep plugging through that. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I don't think I'm gonna blaze through it like I did Origins, because Origins really fucking burned me out. Because there was that point where I was like, I just want to be done with this fucking game, and I thought I was, and it got to a point. And Origins did that shit, and it fucking really pissed me off, where I felt like I was done, and then they fucking did like a 180 out of fucking nowhere, and then I had to play the game for another like 4 hours to get to like the very last mission. And I was like, this is bullshit. I did like the fucking like boss rush like 3 hours ago. Like, why the fuck am I still playing this? So I hope they don't do that in Odyssey, because that shit would really piss me off, because that burned me out so fast.
I don't remember if there is a boss rush. I mean, there's like you kill mythical creatures, but I don't know if it's considered I don't know if I would consider it a boss rush.
Okay.
So I really don't know. Well, what else have you been doing?
That was basically it. Played a little bit of Call of Duty. I bought Batman Return to Arkham for Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, so I probably am going to start booting those up and playing those pretty soon, because I've been itching to go back to some fucking Batman beat 'em up. I want to
Right,
fucking
right.
beat the shit out of some criminals. So
Okay.
probably start those up. But that's really all I've been playing so far. What about you, man?
Cool.
What you been up to?
I watched a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Um, and the first thing I was watching was I mentioned this a couple weeks back, Dark Side of the Ring, which is Vice's pro wrestling
Yes.
docu series, where every episode or two, it goes through like some true crime slash crazy shit that happens in professional wrestling.
I saw
Um,
a little bit pop up on YouTube because they did who were they doing? Who'd they do that popped up on my YouTube? Because it was the same thing where it was with fucking Chris Benoit, where it was like I think it's mostly behind a paywall, but they did like a preview for like the end of the
mhm.
season or whatever.
Well,
Who was it?
the last couple episodes that I watched were Superfly Snuka, which is
Not that
great. Which
one.
is he's a classic wrestler who you know, killed his girlfriend or whatever. It's about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Road Warriors, which was
Mm-hmm.
about one of the guys going through a lot of drug problems and kind of breaking the
Mm-hmm.
tag team up, and then dying early in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly was Owen Hart, who
I think that might have been it. I think it might have been Owen.
probably right below Chris Benoit is
I
probably
think it's
the
the most known wrestling story.
yeah, below Chris Benoit, it's probably the biggest like, oh shit, pro
Yeah.
wrestling, true crimey thing. Even though it wasn't really a true crime thing, it was the no
Yeah, it was
accident.
just an accident. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the depends on who you talk to. Obviously, Owen
Oh.
Hart's wife. The WWE apparently paid for the lowest rigging company to rig him
Mm-hmm.
up, which whatever. And I've heard different stories here and there about
Yeah.
what happened, but it's all good episodes. I do think that they weren't given enough time to really do some of the episodes because they're contained to like 44 minutes or something. So I really
Mm-hmm.
feel like they could have been like Road Warrior could have been like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Superfly maybe not, but like Owen Hart, I could have used more Owen Hart stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Chris Benoit ones are really the big standouts because they're 2 hours, two
Mm-hmm.
full episodes about it. But other than that,
Was
it's a
Owen
really
Hart
great
not two
show.
episodes? I thought I
No, it's
saw
just
something where it was like part two. Oh,
it
okay.
was just one episode from what I recall. Because I mean, in the episode that I watched, they went through him dying.
Okay.
But
Wow.
I think it's a must see show for pro wrestling fans. Is Dark
Mm-hmm.
Side of the Ring. It's really good, 2 seasons long, and not every episode is great, but I think there are really good ones, and then there are some ones I don't really care about. And this season's been kind of like hit or miss, but the
Mm-hmm.
one Chris Benoit is worth watching alone, and that's
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, I think.
I
Um,
believe it is. Yeah.
and then Owen Hart is fine. It's good. I'm a huge Owen Hart fan, so it was worth it. So I
Mm-hmm.
watched that, and the other documentary I watched the last couple weeks was on Amazon Prime. It's by a YouTuber slash he's a guy on YouTube who does movie reviews. His name's Oliver Harper.
Okay.
He has a lot of like '80s movie reviews on YouTube. They're really well done. They're more like retrospectives more than reviews, I guess.
Okay.
But he's made a documentary called In Search of Darkness, which is about '80s horror films. He has
Okay.
one coming out next summer called In Search of Tomorrow, which is about '80s science fiction, '70s '80s science fiction. But in between that, he made one that's on Amazon Prime called In Search of Last Action Heroes.
I saw that pop up on my thing. Yeah.
And it's essentially like a 2 hour, 2.5 hour long documentary on '70s and '80s action movies and like the rise of the 80s era action film in the
Mm-hmm.
decline in the '90s, and it's really really good, and it
Okay.
has so many famous like it doesn't have Stallone's not in it, and neither is Arnold, but every other level of action star from the '80s and '90s VHS stuff, they're all in this thing, and
Yeah.
it's so well done. And it reminded me to watch a lot of movies that I haven't watched in a long time again,
Okay.
and it also gave me movies that I've never seen to watch, um, or add to my list. And
Mm-hmm.
one of those movies was my phone fell. Was the next thing I watched. It's Rapid Fire, which was from
Okay.
1992 to 1993, and it's a Brandon Lee movie. So obviously Bruce
Before
Lee's
the
son.
Crow.
But yeah, it
Oh
was
my
Before the
God.
Crow,
Damn.
and it's a movie about a Chinese American who witnesses a gang hit at a party,
Mhm.
and now the corrupt cops and the gangsters are trying to get after him and kill him, so he can't
Mhm.
snitch, and it's just him having to fight back. You know,
Damn.
and it's him and it's another famous like guy from the '90s. I can't remember his name, but
Mhm.
it's a pretty good action flick. He's not the martial artist like his dad was, at least not in
Mhm.
this film.
Right.
So the martial arts are they're fine. They're not fantastic.
Right.
I would say it's a medium line action film, but it's pretty good.
Okay.
And it's called Rapid Fire. And
Interesting.
then I rewatched First Blood for the billionth time.
Got to.
And then I rewatched Hard Boiled for the billionth time. Uh, then I started watching the real Ghostbusters cartoon
Oh,
from the
where's that
'80s.
at?
I'm watching it on Amazon. I
Okay.
had to pay for it,
Interesting.
and I've never seen it before. Really, I mean I've seen episodes here and there.
Yeah, I've never watched it.
I've seen episodes here and there when I was a kid, just on rerun, but not enough because I never really. I mean, Ghostbusters has been dead since like our entire youth. You only watch Ghostbusters because you watch Ghostbusters. If you never were exposed to it, why would you care? Because there was never a show
Yeah.
for our age demographic. So I'm going back and watching that, and then I'm reading the comic book of Real Ghostbusters too.
Okay.
And it's good. I mean, it's good. It's really good. I think I like. It's always my problem I've had with Ghostbusters is that I like the concept more than the movies, and the comic books
Mhm.
definitely are giving me what I want more. Like
Okay.
I like the movies, I enjoy the movies. I think they're great movies, but I want more from the mythos, and I get that from the comic books.
Right.
So I'm enjoying that more. Plus, I bought a bunch of Ghostbusters toys, so I have to.
Oh,
I'm just
got
like
to.
in the middle of like buying Ghostbusters shit. Uh, Lastly, two last things.
Okay.
Um, I watched AEW Double or Nothing pay per view.
I didn't watch that. I saw some of the highlights. I need to go back and watch it, but yeah.
The main event is called a Stampede match between the Inner Circle, which is Chris Jericho's stable, and the
That's
Young
got
Bucks.
Jack Swagger in it, right?
Yeah, it has Jack Hager. Yeah,
Jack Hager, yeah.
Chris Jericho, Jack Hager, Ortiz, Santino, who are guys that I've only just now seen, and
Hmm.
then Sammy Guevara, who's a cruiserweight, high flying guy,
Okay.
versus the Elite. Young
Is
Bucks,
this correct that
Kenny.
I saw this? Is Matt Hardy in the Elite now?
Yeah, well, no, he's not in the Elite per se, but
Okay.
he's like kind of working with them.
Okay.
It's versus the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Matt Hardy, and Hangman Page, and it was a really great match. I mean, the whole card
Okay.
was really great,
Yeah.
but this finale Stampede match was,
They were at the Jacksonville Stadium, right?
yeah, they did it at the Jacksonville
Yeah.
Stadium, because the owner of AEW is also the owner of the Jaguars.
Yeah.
But Chris Jericho said that this was his best match he's ever done, or one of the
Yeah.
best things he's ever done, and it's a long. Essentially, it's a couple of weeks ago, WWE did a big pay per view match between John Cena and the Bray Wyatt,
Right.
where they went through and like kind of like chronicled um, the his different characters of like eras of John Cena and different stuff like that.
Is
So
that meme that I've seen of like the person standing in front of the picture frame and it's got like the different versions of them throughout the years? Because there was like a meme I saw on Instagram of like every single wrestler had that coming up. Because it was like Cody Rhodes had something like that, John Cena had that. There was a one for Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor had one. It was like all the big wrestlers had like this like I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was I saw it like a couple of weeks ago on Instagram where it was like every single wrestler I had like some variation of this thing where it was just like a standard picture frame and it was like them currently standing in front of it and behind them it was like their different variations throughout the years.
right, exactly, and then that's what happened with Matt.
Okay.
It was like there's a part of the match where they're fighting in a pool, and these guys are trying to drown Matt, and like he
Mhm.
keeps coming up as different versions of Matt Hardy.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it was really funny. And there's a bit where Adam Page and Jack Hager are having a brawl match in a bar,
Hmm.
and Jack Hager puts Adam Page on the fucking bar and like pushes him across the
Push them.
bar, and it's really funny. And then one of the Young Bucks does a moonsault off the top of the football goal. It's a really fun match, and it's not a traditional wrestling match. It's like
I saw that. I saw the one highlight, which was fucking Omega's insane fucking one-winged angel.
oh that was on Sammy Guevara. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
Yeah.
it wasn't a traditional in terms of being a match of like a 5-star rating or like traditional wrestling. Like, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's a fun, goofy ass match.
Yeah.
That was really good, and there were definitely good matches in the ring during the pay per view,
Mhm.
but this is not really for that. They're barely in the ring.
Right.
They were in the
Yeah.
ring for like 30 seconds, and they roll out and start going across the fucking the
Got to,
stadium.
man. That's the whole point of it. Where it was like it's like the shit where like WWE would do that, but WWE was notorious for like not letting them fucking do this. But they would do the fucking like pins fall anywhere count match or anything like that, and they'd spend like 90% of the time in the ring. And I mean, like, no, fuckers, like, get out, like, fucking explore the stadium. Like, that's the whole point of a match like this. Like, you're supposed to like get outside of the ring.
Exactly. That's exactly what this was. So it's fun, and it was a good pay per view if you can catch it.
Yeah.
Lastly, I'm not done with this movie yet. I'm probably not even halfway through it. I'm probably only 1/4 way of the way. Is I'm watching Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest #2.
Oh.
So I've never seen them before.
Did you watch #1?
I've seen one once.
Okay.
I've seen one once years ago. I've tried to
Okay.
start it probably 4 or 5 times since then, since it came out, and I just have never finished it. But I remember most of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Like, there's some coins, and the coins are evil.
There's the coins. Coins are evil. Coins turn people into zombies. There's a zombie monkey. Keira Knightley is in it, and she's like, I don't know. They try to make her sexy, but she's fully clothed the whole time, so that's kind of weird.
There's like, yeah, there's a monkey. There's a crew of zombie skeletons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pirate zombies.
And that's kind of all. And then Jack is like a guy who like he wants the ship for some reason.
Well, it's his ship.
Okay, so it's his ship.
It's his ship, and it got stolen from him because he's the original captain, and then Barbossa, who was his first mate, stole it from him when they took the chest of coins and they fucking marooned Jack on the island. And that's when Jack gets his reputation for leaving the island, where people said that he like fucking strapped sea turtles together and made a raft of sea turtles
how
and
long
shit.
was he on the island for?
He really, they talk about it in the movie, he really wasn't in it that long. He was in it for like a couple of weeks, and then rum traders showed up because they end up talking about in the movie that like the island was actually like a fucking a hidey hole for like rum smugglers, and so rum smugglers like came to the island, and that's how he got off, because he just hitched a ride on a boat and like got off.
Well, so was he like famous before that? Like, I don't understand.
He was famous for that, for being he was like a famous pirate captain for like being like the captain of the Black Pearl, but like him like being on the island and escaping the island like turned him into like a legendary figure. And so then they like break down his legend and really show that like he didn't really do anything, like he's not that special.
So
he just got picked up by a bunch of rum
Was he
traders.
was he always like crazy looking, or was he just was that because of the island?
They don't really show him like in the past too much, so I don't know like how similar his personality was like beforehand.
Okay.
I assume I assume the island made him a little crazy, because he really just was like on an island for 2 weeks and just got
Right.
like fucking piss poor drunk every fucking day for like
so
2 weeks straight.
I'm not even that far into this movie. So far, I understand that Orlando Bloom
Yes.
is sent to go find Jack Sparrow and find his compass,
Yes.
because the compass is magic. I don't know why it's magic yet, but it's magic.
That's the Pirates of the Caribbean does that shit where they just like add magic and they don't really explain it, but
Just
like
a bunch of MacGuffins everywhere and fucking.
it's a
bunch of, like,
MacGuffin. I mean, it's kind of a MacGuffin that they kind of tease in the first one. It's weird because they like talk about it in the first one, but they don't really explain it, and then they expand on it more in the second one. But the compass is basically because they talk about it in the first one, because like when Captain Jack first gets captured, they like go through all his shit, and they talk about how he has a pistol that only has one shot in it, and that's because he got marooned. And the thing about that is, if you're a pirate that gets marooned, they leave you with a pistol with one shot so you
Mm-hmm.
can fucking shoot yourself. And since Jack didn't die on that island, he's saving that one shot for Barbossa. So that's like a whole character arc for him. He has a sword, just a regular sword. They have a joke about him thinking that it was be made out of wood, and then they talk about his compass, because the Captain Norrington or whatever opens it, and the compass doesn't point north.
Right.
And he's like, "You have a compass that doesn't point north or whatever." So then they talk about that in this movie, which is it's a compass, a magic compass that points to your heart's greatest desire. So it doesn't point north; it points towards the thing that you want the most in this world. So for him, in the first movie, Captain Jack wanted the Black Pearl, so the compass would always point to wherever the Black Pearl was.
Right.
So that's how they're able to track down the Black Pearl and all that shit. And so I don't remember what happened in the second movie. I don't remember why they wanted it. Well, so I think it's because Keira Knightley gets kidnapped, and he's like trying. The compass will point him to Keira Knightley. I think.
Well, so here's where I'm at so far. Again, I'm not even halfway in the movie. Is that Orlando Bloom's character, for some I guess because he helped Jack Sparrow, he's like they're gonna die or something.
Yeah.
So he gets tasked to go find Jack Sparrow, find the compass, bring it back so he can save Keira Knightley's life or something. I guess she's also the daughter of some like politician. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I guess he's like some blacksmith, right, or some shit like that.
He's like a blacksmith.
Okay, so he goes and finds Jack. He goes to an island. Jack's there with a bunch of like little crazy people things, but they don't show how he got there yet, because in the previous scene he's on his boat with his crew. So I don't know. So clearly time has passed that they haven't showed us yet. And then Keira Knightley escapes from jail with her dad, and then she goes to meet that Navy guy, and she gets the paper signed, and then she's gonna go help find the compass, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at so far. That's literally where I'm at. So that's like the first like 25 minutes of the movie. That's where I'm at so far. It's fine so far.
Yeah.
I still don't like Jack Sparrow as a character. But
it's a fun movie.
But I will say this about both movies that I recall, at least this movie that I've watched 25 minutes yesterday, is that it even scenes I've seen on YouTube like recently for some reason, like recommended videos or something, that these movies are shot really well.
Oh, the cinematography on this is great.
Like the way they look.
Oh my God! There's something I forgot to. We'll keep talking, but there is something I forgot to mention that I did watch, so we'll talk about that later. Well, but finish your Pirates of the Caribbean.
The way the movie, like the way the shots look in terms of like color correction, like the way it looks and the prop design, and like all of that looks really good. And I guess I should expect it because the movie costs however much money the movie costs. So like I'm watching this movie, and then like the opening scene where they're on a ship or something, and I'm like, man, I would hate to be the director. Like, I was thinking to myself, like, imagine having to be a director and this is your first movie you make. Like, you would not know what the fuck to do because there's so many moving parts. How do you film a boat in the ocean? I don't fucking know. Do we put a boat in the ocean? Is it a CG boat? I don't know.
No.
So, like, but all the stuff looks really good. The costumes look really good. And then, real quick, lastly, real fast, before we get to your point, the last thing that I watched, really, Lord of the Rings on HBO Max, and I'm currently watching. I've watched the first one.
I'm so fucking upset because I have to do something about my HBO Now subscription, because right now I think I have it through Amazon, so I don't get HBO Max with it. So I have to unsubscribe. Yeah, because I guess you have to only get HBO Now like through actual HBO.
Through HBO.
And so I guess I bought it through Amazon. I guess probably because I was like scrolling through Amazon Prime and like saw, and so I did it like that. So I have to like cancel my HBO, and I guess I have to like try to re-up it with fucking HBO so I can get HBO Max. So like that's a whole can of worms that I don't, because I want to watch that. Because they got the Not So Late Show with Elmo that I want to fucking watch, because that show looks rad as fuck.
For me, literally, it's that I use my dad's HBO because they have actual HBO with their TV.
Yeah.
So I've been using their stuff for like the login, like website login, and that comes with free HBO Max. So I'm just like, perfect. I just linked the account. Fucking thanks for the free HBO Max.
Thanks for the free HBO Max.
You know, so I watched Commando, which they had on HBO already. They have all Lord of the Rings. I watched, and I think they're the director's cuts too, the extended editions, I believe, because this movie is long as shit. and it has all the monologue in the beginning that is not part of the regular movie. So
The on Hobbits or whatever.
yeah, so I think this is the extended edition because it's like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
So I watched that. I haven't watched Two Towers yet or Return of the King yet. It also has all the Harry Potters, which I don't know if I'm gonna watch or not. Because I've seen them. I've seen them pretty recently, and like, not every Harry Potter movie is good. Like, you start at 3. Maybe you start at 3 and move to 8 or whatever.
One's fine. Two's not good. Three's good. 4 I just remember liking for the dragons.
Yeah.
5 I honestly don't even remember 5.
4
6 is whatever, and then 7 and 8 they're fine.
7 and 8 I don't remember, because to me it's all a big blur as to why they're running through the woods.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
They got that weird. They got that Sherlock Holmes chase sequence.
Yeah. Why are they in the woods?
I don't know. They fucking run away from school. I don't know. 7 and 8 are weird because it's the seventh book where they're like. They're not. It's not even about Hogwarts anymore because now they're just like out in the real world and they're like on the run or some shit. I don't know. It's really. It's all weird.
So, but what did you miss? You said.
So and it sparked me because they talk about Pirates of the Caribbean in this, but I watched Prop Culture on Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. It's fucking fantastic. Just like hearing them talk about all the costumes and shit. Just like even for Pirates of the Caribbean. They talk about the rides. They talk about Mary Poppins, which is great. They go through Tron. They go through. Honestly, my favorite one was they go through the Muppet movie, and they talk about all that. They talk about Jim Henson's creativity and like his working with the puppets and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's all fantastic.
That's funny because that's the one I skipped.
You skipped the Muppets?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I only watched Tron, Pirates.
I watched all of them.
Roger Rabbit, and then
the Roger Rabbit one was fantastic.
Night Before Christmas, and then I skipped. Muppets, and I skipped
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins, yeah.
Mary Poppins was fun. It was fine. Honestly, the Tron episode was more interesting than Tron the movie itself, which is like everything related to Tron is more interesting than the movie itself.
I love Tron. I know what you're talking about.
Tron's fine. I like Tron Legacy more.
I mean, it looks better.
Yeah,
but I like the first one.
I like the story aspect of it too, of like the whole. I mean, I've talked to this before. I love fathers and their children's relationships in like any type of media, and that's all the second movie really is. It's like.
Zach, let me ask you a question. Speaking about prop culture, or whatever the show's called.
Yeah.
How do you feel? And I'm not sure if we talked about this in the podcast before. How do you feel about Nightmare Before Christmas?
It's fine. I enjoy it. I think it's a fun movie.
I think it's the wrong answer. The movie sucks.
What?
Movie fucking sucks, dude.
I like the music in it a lot. I enjoy the claymation aspect to it. I enjoy the work went into it. It's the most like Tim Burton movie that Tim Burton ever fucking made. Like all of his movies after that are like what his whole style is based around.
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
You don't?
I think Beetlejuice is that movie.
That's fair.
And then that from Beetlejuice becomes everything else because Beetlejuice came out before, and also Tim Burton didn't direct Night Before Christmas, but
that's true. But it is his whole vision.
The whole vision, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Night Before Christmas is a prime example of a lot of a type of movie or thing that I have that afflicts me, which is that even if the property is amazing. Like the actual source material
I get
is
why
amazing.
You don't like it because the fandom around
it is
insufferable.
Terrible. Yes, insufferable.
The fandom around it is insufferable. But I don't hold that against the movie because I think overall I enjoy the movie itself. But yes, I think the people that are like head over heels for like Jack and Sally and all that, those people are fucking insufferable.
But also, I hate Halloween. Like I don't give a shit about
Halloween. I enjoy Halloween. I really like Halloween.
There's something about the movie that makes me get mad. And maybe and I love Danny Elfman. It's not about Danny, and I had no problem with Tim Burton because I love Batman. I love Beetlejuice is good.
Yeah.
I love
Oingo Boingo Man.
Yeah, I love Oingo Boingo. He's great. I love it. I was listening to Dead Man's Party yesterday.
Yeah.
Obviously, Weird Science is a great song.
Yeah.
And also Danny Elfman's done a lot of great soundtracks, so I have no problem with the voice, it's the fucking concept that just, and maybe I'm too much of a bro. Like in terms of like, yo. I need muscles and guns, and I don't want no fucking brains or fucking some guy in a wheelchair. I don't know what the. I've seen the movie one time as a kid and went, don't need it erased from my mind. Like,
You got
I
some fucking muscle dudes in there. You got some fucking big ass wolf
well,
man. You got
oh, come
some.
on. So here's my knowledge of this movie. Okay,
Okay.
is that Jack is a guy.
He's the Pumpkin King.
I
Yes.
don't know what the fuck that is.
He's the king of Halloween.
So he's like the mayor.
No, he's not the mayor. He's
So
basically. He's like the. What's a great
like a
way
scare
to
master or
describe him?
something.
Sort of. I would almost compare him. The. He's like the Dwayne Johnson of Halloween. Everybody loves him. He can
Okay,
do no wrong.
because he's like really good at Halloween.
Yes, he's the best.
So here, I know he's bored of Halloween.
He is.
So he goes to some magic door.
He finds a bunch of magic doors, and then he happens to go into the one that is for Christmas.
Is Christmas Town.
Yes.
So he goes to Christmas Town and he wants to bring Christmas to his Halloween shit town.
Yes.
He does it, but then also
Yes.
there's a zombie girl,
Yes.
Frankenstein girl, who's
Yes.
like abused or something, or
She's in a, I don't know if I would necessarily say abused, but she's got the Rapunzel syndrome where it's
right,
like her caregiver is like extremely overprotective and like
right.
sheltering of her and like won't let her like leave the house because she thinks that she's too fragile to like deal with like the outside
Okay,
world.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Actually, I don't think I've seen this movie. I'm thinking back on it now. I don't think I've seen this movie. I think all I know about this movie is from Kingdom Hearts.
That's fair,
Is from Kingdom
but
Hearts.
that has nothing to do with the actual
So
movie at all.
there's some guy full of bugs.
Yeah, Oogie Boogie. He's like the boogeyman.
How is he the boogeyman if there's Jack Skellington?
Apparently, Jack Skellington is better than the boogeyman, according to the Nightmare
So
Before
hold on,
Christmas.
so he's like who is the boogeyman guy? What's his point in character?
His whole point is, well, Santa comes well, fuck, it's been a while since
He like
I've seen
kidnapped
Before
Santa,
Christmas.
right?
He kidnaps Santa because he doesn't want. He is the one he's also the antagonist of Jack because he thinks he could be basically the Pumpkin King. He thinks he's the best scarer. So he's
Okay.
got that antagonistic thing. And then you've got Jack trying to start Christmas, and Oogie Boogie doesn't like that because he's all Halloween. So he
Right.
tries to kidnap Santa Claus, and then he basically almost kills him until Frankenstein girl saves him by doing a sexy pose with her detached leg in a door, which is
saw
very
that.
strange. Yeah, that's a
Saw
bit.
that.
He loves gambling. He's got the fucking roulette wheel. He loves rolling his dice like that. Oogie Boogie. He's got a great song.
So at what point does Riku in a dark costume come out and you fight?
Well, that's when he kidnaps Santa Claus, because then you've got Donald and Goofy there, and then you have to be on the roulette wheel, and you have to try to
Yep,
beat Oogie
yep.
Boogie at his own game.
Yeah.
And then that's when you take the Ultimate Keyblade, and then you
Mhm.
fucking do the double attack combo slash.
Mhm.
Then you do the reaction to get the reaction shot off the boss,
Well,
that way you can get his health down to a
Because
quarter.
isn't in the first game that's where you see Riku again? Is Nightmare
Uh,
Town Nightmare Town or no?
Nightmare Town's not in. No, Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, well, Nightmare Before Christmas is in the first game, but it only takes place in Halloween Town. And then the
Okay.
second game is when it's in Halloween Town, and then they also go to Christmas Town.
Okay. Yeah, it's unfair of me to judge this movie because I don't remember any of this because I don't think
Yeah.
I've actually watched it. But even with that being said, I know that I'm going to judge it right now. I don't care, and in terms of the artistry of behind the movie,
Yeah.
amazing. Love it. Like I mean, the puppets from that show or the
Yeah.
mannequins or whatever look
Mhm.
amazing. The actual animation takes the pictures and the styles. I love
Mhm.
it. All about professional. It looks fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It is just, and I can't help it, but that it's hot topic fucking bait, and that
It is Hot Topic
I knew
bait.
too many people in high school who wore fingerless gloves with that fucking skull face on them.
Well, I knew too many people that had the fucking Jack Skellington tattoo.
Oh yeah, or like every time it's like every Halloween hear someone's fucking singing "This Is Halloween." I don't fucking care. Halloween fucking blows, dude.
It's a quintessential Halloween song, and you get lots of candy. I fucking love Halloween.
Halloween fucking blows. Now you want to do a Halloween movie? Fine, okay, fine. Halloween movie, but it's fucking Commando / Total Recall
Or it's the
slash.
season of the witch, Halloween 3.
I mean, like, I don't know, dude. All right.
Is there a Commando style Halloween movie?
Hell no,
Is there
dude.
an action movie that takes place on Halloween?
I guess
I
you
feel
could.
like I feel like there should be.
I guess if you read scored Halloween, it would be an action movie, right?
Action movie that takes place. I don't know because there's really not that much action in Halloween, honestly. On Halloween. No, these are all just horror movies.
Well, I mean, if you rescored Halloween and cut it to where the kills are closer together,
Yeah,
and then like made it to where
I
like a
guess.
recut trailer where you made it seem like everyone that Michael Myers is killing like hurt his family or something like that, so it's revenge. You can make it because like you can cut Commando and make it a horror film pretty easily, you know,
Yeah, I guess so.
or like make The Raid like a horror movie,
Oh, you could definitely make the Raid a horror
you
movie.
know. I remember watching the episode, the prop culture design episode about Nightmare Before Christmas, and thinking like, I'm so impressed with everything about the way this movie was made.
Hmm.
Between how he came up with the idea, when he came up with the idea, and how all the stuff was made, how the fucking hill was made, and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But then the whole time thinking like, man, I don't get people who love this movie. And I'm not sure. I'm sure the same people who love that movie look at me and go, "Why do you like Rambo 2?
That's fair.
Like what? Like why do you like insert Jean Claude Van Damme movie? Like why do you like Time Cop? Why do you like
Fuck.
Demolition
Oh my
Man?
God, there's one I'm fucking seeing on fucking Amazon Prime that keeps popping up. What the fuck is that called? It's like Vantage or something like that. Vantage Point. What the fuck is that movie called? I swear.
Trying to think. It's not Kickboxer.
No, not
It's not
Kickboxer.
Bloodsport. It's not
It's like
hard,
an act. It's like an actual fucking like
It's not
John
Hard
Claude
Target.
Van. Hold on, let me see here.
Hard Target.
Is it Hard Target?
It's a
Nah, it's
John.
not
It's a John. It's a
Target.
John. It's a John Woo movie
Can't be Hard Target.
with John Claude Van Damme.
Amazon Originals. Da.
It's a
They
John
got
Claude
Universal
Van.
Soldier on there now. Fuck, dude.
They do. I think they have part 2 as well.
You keep talking. I'll find it maybe.
No, so it's like, I I understand that people. I'll scroll through Instagram. Like I follow a lot of people who like collect movies, like Blu-rays or collect VHS tapes, or
Hmm.
collect like action figures, obviously. And there are such a huge culture and for people who love horror films. Like
Hmm.
a big toy brand that I love is called NECA, and they make like movie property action figures, right? And they're really great.
Hmm.
And half of their stuff is action films. The other half of their stuff is horror films. It's like pretty much down the line.
Hmm.
So like I'll be scrolling through Facebook groups to look at buying some figures, and the people will just they'll sell like Chucky stuff, or they'll sell like there's so many It figures and shit like this, and Jason figures and Freddy stuff, and I'll look through like Instagram, look through like Blu-ray collectors, and there's so many accounts dedicated to just horror collections, and I
Right.
just do not get it. I do not understand the appeal at all to like
Mm.
buy a figure of a killer, but then again, I also have a RoboCop toy. So I get it, but I don't get it. And it's the packaging. Like maybe
Hmm.
if RoboCop or maybe if Freddy Krueger had like cool cybernetic armor, and like maybe I'd be down with it. I don't know, but like it blows my mind, and I just don't understand how people can go and just for
Hmm.
fun watch a horror movie. I just don't get it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge horror guy either. It's not really something that like grind. I mean, I've watched occasional ones every now and then, but I'm really not.
Well,
It's
like
not really something that like piques my interest
I
too
was
much.
scrolling through YouTube like probably a week ago. Like
Mhm.
we this was in the middle of us doing our break for the podcast, and
Hmm.
I remember you talking about and
Midsummer.
yeah, Midsummer. And everyone was talking
Mhm.
about Midsummer. Like it was on YouTube when it came out, and seeing all these
Mhm.
reviews for it. I was like, okay, well, I remember Zach said he saw it, and so I went and like YouTubed a couple scenes because it's been long enough now where there's scenes on YouTube. I
Right.
remember you mentioned some scene where they like jump off a cliff or something.
Yeah, that's like the most
So
horrific scene in the whole fucking
I went
movie.
and watched it and I was like, okay, I'm not. I was like, I'm fine. This doesn't bother me. I'm not like
Yeah.
I'm not like I don't get like no jitters or I'm not
Mm.
what's the word
Nauseous? Nauseous?
I mean I've seen real dead bodies, so like
Right.
that doesn't bother me, right?
Yeah.
But then like I'm watching, going like, why would anybody pay money to watch this movie? But then on the flip side, I go, you know what? I pay money to watch RoboCop shoot a guy's dick through a girl's dress. Like I love that scene. I love that fucking scene.
It's a great fucking scene.
Have you? Have I ever showed you RoboCop remake that scene?
Yes. Yes, we have.
Okay,
We
so
talked about it.
like
Yeah.
I literally watched First Blood this week. Like that movie is literally just a guy hunting men.
Yeah.
Like just fucking kill it. He kills nobody, by the way. Just
Yeah.
fucking savages them.
Yeah.
But I don't get why. Like you still go see horror movies. I still haven't seen It Part Two
Occasionally.
yet, but it's on HBO, so I'm probably gonna watch it. Like, but like that's not a horror film to me. That's a thriller film.
Yeah.
But like a pure. When's the last time you watched a pure horror movie?
Pure horror
Like a
movie?
fucking like Hereditary or some shit.
I mean, Midsummer would probably have been that. Um, but even then, I don't think it's like a. I don't know. Because I don't even know if I would consider. I don't know. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. Like Hereditary is more of like a horror movie than Midsummer.
Right.
Midsummer's got like those. I don't know. I mean, it is a horror movie, but there's like a different genre because Midsummer definitely goes into more of like the folk horror aspect, where it's more about
Mm-hmm.
like, just like different. It's more of like a backwoods kind of culture. I mean, you're in this like Sweden type of thing where these like this cult that like takes place out in the middle of the fucking nowhere.
Right.
So there's that weird aspect to it. I don't know. The last time I saw, I mean, probably like besides Midsummer was probably like it. Like I just don't watch. I don't know. And it was like me trying to conquer my fucking fear, which I did because I fucking watched that movie. I still fucking hate it, but I think it was like probably the last one. I don't know. Horror movies are really not something like gets to me. Like I am not like one of those people that like fuck dude like The Conjuring's coming out. Like let me go fucking buy my tickets.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like remember when like Saw was coming? Not Saw. What's the Eli Roth one? Hostel.
Hostel. Yeah.
They're
I did
like,
watch
yo,
Hostel.
guys, we're gonna go watch Hostel, and I was like, are you eat a dick, dude?
Yeah.
Like no way. Like come on. Why would I go pay money to watch it? Like what about those
Lionheart.
movies?
Lionheart is the movie.
Lionheart is fantastic.
Yes.
I'm gonna say this right now, definitively on the record,
Tell me.
without any shame.
Tell me.
John Claude, from the start of his career as a
Mhm.
lead up until like 95, all pristine movies.
Yeah.
I'm talking like Time Cop, Kickboxer, Bloodsport, Hard Target, Lionheart.
Mhm.
Oh, just the other one. I can't remember the other one I'm thinking of. But
Universal Soldier.
that one's great too. But like the other one where he plays like a fucking like French Foreign Legion kind of guy.
Can't remember.
I don't know, but what I was saying is like I just don't understand how anyone has the desire to like, and it's a huge community of film geeks. You know, like obviously action films are genre,
Yeah.
and obviously horror films are genre. So I understand like it's a niche thing. I love martial arts films, and like obviously they're not mutually exclusive in the sense of like you can't not like you can like both obviously,
Right.
but I just don't happen to like horror films in any sense at
Mhm.
all. I've probably seen 2 horror films in theaters. I saw like 4 in
Yeah.
theaters, and I think I've told you the story about me seeing Paranormal Activity 3 maybe.
I don't remember.
Paranormal Activity 3 I saw on my friend's birthday
Mm-hmm.
because he wanted to go see it. He loves horror films. I was like, okay, dude. All right, John. Well, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Opening night at
Mm-hmm.
Oak Brook Movies 8.
Oh shit, dude! Back in the day.
You already know the level of the crowd is rambunctious
Yes.
people. So we it's the Paranormal Activity movie where it's the little white girl, the teenage
I've only
white
really
girl.
seen the first Paranormal Activity, so.
Well, so me and him actually watched the first one on a illegal stream when we were in high school.
But that's one of those movies where it's like it's labeled as a horror movie, but it's really not because it's fucking boring until like the last like 5 minutes
I'll
of the
say
fucking
the
movie.
first movie is so The first movie is really suspenseful. I'll say this now. We didn't
Mm.
again. I didn't watch the first movie in theaters. If I did, I'd walk out.
Yeah.
I'd walk out
Mm.
because I'd be so fucking strapped. My butt would be so fucking like, clenched so hard.
Yeah.
But like I watched Paranormal Activity 3 or 4, whichever one it was, with the teenagers, and it was not scary at all because the whole room was laughing the entire time.
Yeah.
Like whenever it would be like it would cut from like a scene and it would say like the following night or whatever, and
Mm.
like the crowd would go, "Oh shit!" Like they were prepared. So it made it a comedy routine,
Yeah.
but like to go watch like a Midsummer or something like that, like
Hmm.
well, the crowd's not going to do that. Because
No.
if you're going to go watch Hereditary, I'm assuming the crowd is half people who just want to be scared,
Yeah.
half like horror film fans. So they're
Hmm.
not going to ruin the film.
Yeah.
So like I would go there and I know for a fact that like that's $12 down the drain. 'Cause I would walk out of the theater,
Right.
and I just can't comprehend people who like
Yeah. I get that.
who purposely like that shit. I don't know. It's not. I'm not saying it's bad, obviously.
I don't know. Just different wirings of the brains, I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's different things. I don't know. Horror movies for me are really not things that I like go to the theater to see. I think there are special exceptions. Like, I mean, it was like a special exception, just because of the circumstances surrounding it. But I think for Midsummer, for me, I was really more willing to watch it because it really didn't look like a horror movie at all. Like, I had no
Yeah.
interest to fucking see Hereditary in the theaters because that movie, I was like, nope, that's not for me.
Yeah, right.
The Midsummer
Right.
was really more of like I don't know, it had like a different vibe going on to it. It's something that like intrigued me more. I think I just like enjoy that whole folk horror aspect.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it's really not traditional horror. There's like there's a different like mindset and a different like theme and like mythology surrounding that I find a lot more interesting than like traditional
Right.
horror stuff. So I think that always piques my interest more than anything else. But it's like, well, it's like we were talking about. I mean, it's fucking delayed for forever now. I don't remember when it's coming out. But like Chris Rock's Saw movie, it's like I have no interest to fucking watch that
Right.
shit in the fucking theater.
Yeah, I have zero desire to watch people get like blown up or what.
Yeah,
Fucking whatever.
I have no desire to see somebody like get their fucking fingers chopped off. Like I don't know. That's
But
not.
and then again, like I've said this multiple times already during this little tirade of mine.
Mhm.
It's to me, it's all packaging and context. Like I have no problem watching a guy get his hand cut off in a martial arts movie. I have no problem doing that. Or guys getting their heads blown up in like an action film. I don't
Yeah.
care in that context. But
Mhm.
something about I think something maybe about was in horror in action films. It's not really about. It's about the protagonist who is doing the damage, who's the hero.
Right.
Whereas in horror films, it's very rarely that's the context.
Yeah, I think there's a difference in the concept of like in action movies, like you're saying. I think it's a lot more of an empowering thing,
Yeah.
where it's very much like you're fighting back against whatever this antagonist is, and so it's much more empowering. Whereas in horror movies, it's very much depowering. It's very much like usually whatever's happening is happening to the main person that you're following, and so it's much more vulnerable.
Right. Well, and then also because they're like, I mean, I'm just going generalizing here. I know that, but like,
Mhm.
how many horror films are like a random family pulls up to a random town and gets fucking raped and killed? Like that's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go on my way. And
Yeah.
it could be a fantastic movie, but I just don't see myself being like, yeah, that's a good story.
Hmm.
So remember, my buddy, my same friend, my friend John, who loves horror films, was telling me about a movie that he thought that I would like, and I'd never watched it still, was the remake of The Hills Have Eyes.
I heard about that.
He told me, and I haven't seen it yet, so I could be completely wrong on the story.
All I know is it's about radioactive cannibals. That's all I got.
Right. He told me that he said it's a really badass movie, but I haven't seen it. He told me about this movie when we were still in high school, so I mean, I could be getting some of the details wrong. And again, I have never seen it, so I don't know. But he pitched it to me as this: it's a regular horror film where this family's getting fucked up, and then eventually one of the victims, gets pushed over the edge and starts to fight back, and he just fucking kills all the other people. Like, kills all the
Mm.
bad people. That's what he pitched it to me as. I don't know if that's what actually happens, but
It's me.
that's a horror film I can go, you know what? I can get behind that,
Mm.
because that to me is badass. Like,
Well, that reminds me very much of like the the last house on the left, I think is what it's called.
right, yeah.
Namesake of last podcast on the left. But it's a very similar type of thing where it's like, first of all, that movie's fucking horrific. They did the remake because I think I watched like the remake in theaters for some fucking reason. I think I
Oh,
was
really?
fucking stupid, but I watched the remake in theaters. But it's like the whole like first half of the movie is you meet the main character girl or whatever, and it's like she gets like fucking like brutalized, like
Right.
raped by this group of people. And then the second half of the movie is she ends up back home, and the people that attacked her end up going to the parents' home to like get out of the storm or whatever. And so the back half of the movie is like the parents taking revenge on these people that like brutalized their daughter.
That's fucking
And like
awesome.
in concept, it sounds fucking rad, but you have to sit through like an hour of like you getting to know the girl, and then them just getting like fucking like. And in the remake, it's like pretty bad, where they're just like, it's like B movie shit, where they're like just
Right.
like fucking like viciously raped in the woods, and I'm like, I
Right.
don't need to watch this right now.
Right.
But it is cathartic. But it
But
gives
did
you
it?
that
But did it
cath-
make? Did it make the vengeance part like?
Yeah, it
worth
gives you
it?
that catharsis for real, though. Yeah, especially because I remember that was the shit that stuck in my mind for real. Because the very last scene, I don't know why, but this shit like stuck out in my fucking mind. Where it's like the very last scene in the movie is they have the main like bad guy, the main guy who's like in charge of this group of people, and you have the mom and dad. And I don't remember what exactly happened, but they have him like I think they have him like strapped down to a table or some shit like that,
Mhm.
and they fucking put his head in a microwave and they blow his head up. And I was like, that shit's fucking rad.
Well, see, that, and again, it goes back to packaging too. Like, no, I was
Yeah.
watching the original Death Wish with Charles Bronson like a couple weeks back, and in that movie, Jeff Goldblum plays a thug, unnamed
Yeah.
thug, and they rape this gang of guys like rape and beat like his wife and his daughter like in the room together. So like they like, and it's a really awkward rape scene, man. Like rape scenes are supposed to be like no rape scene should be not awkward, but it's
Yeah.
a pretty awkward scene. And then the rest of the movie makes complete sense as to why Charles Bronson's character, who goes from like a liberal doctor or architect to a gun-toting vigilante, it makes that turn make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no problem in that context. But when it becomes, maybe if I had more horror movies like that, but then it becomes almost like an action movie almost, So it's
Yeah,
kind
at
of
that
like,
point, I mean, it's more of like I wouldn't even say The Last House becomes like an action movie, but it doesn't become a horror movie. It just becomes more like a thriller.
right,
Because I mean, it's still like it's like the mom and dad. They're not those like fucking like buff ass action heroes or something like that.
Yeah.
Like they're just regular parents, and so it becomes much more of a thriller of like them trying to get the drop on these people that like brutalize their daughter.
'Cause, I
So
mean,
there's that kind of aspect to it.
excuse me, I've definitely have watched some brutal revenge movies, like like B or like I Spit on Your Grave and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm generally fine with them, but I think purely it's the context of a killer killing people for no
Yeah.
reason other than the fact that they're a killer. Like,
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for a killer, but I have sympathy for like a victim who gets back at the people that victimized them.
Yeah.
Like I think that to me it goes back to like what you said about the empowering thing, where like I watch Arnold for I guess a male power fantasy or Conan or something like that. But if I'm watching
Yeah.
like a revenge movie
Mm-hmm.
of a girl who gets sexually assaulted and she comes back and starts mowing down the people that did it, I'm all about it. And to me, it's like fucking hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a movie I mentioned before recently called Blue Ruin, which is a very suspenseful fucking thriller movie. It came out a couple years back about a guy who's a hobo whose family was like, I can't remember the exact reason, but there was a sibling was killed or his parents were killed or were killed by some guy, and then the guy was in jail, and then at the beginning of the movie the guy gets out of jail, so the guy is approached by a cop and told, hey, by the way, so this guy is getting out of jail today, and he's like, well, what the fuck, I thought it was supposed to be this time or this time. He got out early. So the whole movie is this hobo who's been the hobo since his parents were murdered or whoever was murdered, I can't remember exactly, being like, okay, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy.
Yeah.
And it's him like, he's not a trained killer. He's struggling. He's fucking up. He's getting a gun and all this kind of stuff. It's him, and the whole movie is so like on edge that when the fucking end of the movie happens, you have to go, like it was so stressful. I think it's the same guy who made Green Room, which was Anton Yelchin's last movie. Which is also one of those very like, oh my god, this is like fucking so on the fucking like so on the edge, movies. But Zach, we're at an hour and 20.
We are.
Do you want to call it because we don't really have much new news?
I mean, there's only a couple things that I really wanted to get to. Okay. But yeah, none of it's really new. I mean, the big thing is, I mean, the fucking Snyder Cut exists and it's real and it's fucking coming to HBO Max.
Snyder
It's
Cut.
not just a meme. It's
Yes.
not just a meme anymore.
Snyder Cut. I say 30 for 30 is a Bruce Lee documentary coming out.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling is going to be the Wolfman.
I'm down for that. Fucking Ruby Rose is leaving Batwoman because apparently her constitution can't take it anymore or some fucking dog shit.
Yeah. New Percy Jackson Disney Plus series in the works, which I fucking love.
Yeah, I'm down for that for sure.
I love that.
The Ghost of Tsushima gameplay was fucking tight, dude. I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
fucking
that comes out this month, right?
No, July. Because the fucking Golf Simulator 2020 comes out this fucking month in June.
Okay. Without Remorse with Michael B. Jordan is being directed by the Sicario 2 directors.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which looks good.
David Ayer wants his own fucking Suicide Squad, his Ayer cut released, I guess. That should make me chuckle.
How do you feel about the Scarface thing?
It's dumb. It's real dumb. I mean, I like the director, but I like the director a lot. I didn't see Call Me by Your Name, but I did. I've talked extensively about his Suspiria remake, which I really, really liked. But coming off of that Suspiria remake, I don't know how the fuck he's gonna make like a good Scarface movie, and also why the fuck would you touch Scarface?
Wait, so the guy who did Suspiria also did Call Me by Your Name?
Yes, he's the same director.
So what in that lineage says, yeah, let's do a gangster film?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck in that lineage says he should remake Scarface. I don't know what it's gonna. I don't know. The only thing that kind of gives me hope for it is it's gonna be written by the Coen brothers, which is dope. But like, I don't really see the Coen brothers movie as like a Scarface movie.
I have a problem with, like, hey Siri, what year does Scarface come out? Like 85?
It's got to be 85, right?
1983.
Okay.
I have a problem with the Coen brothers writing this movie because they were like writing stuff when this came out. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's not like they were like, it's a new younger generation writing this movie. Their first movie came out like in like 1984 or something. Like, why would you rewrite this Brian De Palma movie?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not gonna watch it.
It's not something that interests me.
Isn't it also Michael B. Jordan?
Is it? I don't know. I didn't actually see that.
I thought it was Michael B. Jordan as a star. I could be wrong.
I didn't know if they had cast it yet.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Hold on. Scarface remake. I don't know if I'd seen anything about casting yet.
Oh, okay. I swear I saw someone saying that, but obviously this was a week, 2 weeks ago.
Cast.
Maybe just whatever.
I don't know.
All right, well, Zach, let's call the episode.
Let's call it.
This is called the Getting the Rust Off, the podcast.
Shaking it off. Shaking
it off. We'll be back next week with more License to View, more up-to-date news. We'll see y'all back next week.
See you
Thanks,
guys.